Welcome back everyone. In this video we will learn about the attachments of ulna. So we have studied that ulna is having two ends and a shaft. On the upper end, two processes and two articular surfaces are present. The two processes are called as olecranon process and coronoid process, and the two articular surfaces are called as trochlear surface and the radial notch. Now when we talk about the attachments on the upper end, first of all, this is the olecranon process. Olecranon process is having five surfaces: the anterior surface, the superior surface, the posterior surface, the medial surface and the lateral surface. Now onto the superior surface, there the insertion of triceps brachii muscle takes place. The insertion of triceps brachii muscle takes place. Onto the margin of radial notch, onto the margin of trochlear notch, as it is forming the elbow joint, the capsule is attached onto its whole margin. Then between the capsule and the triceps brachii muscle, a bursa is present. Then we comes to the posterior surface. Onto the posterior surface of ulna, a posterior surface of olecranon process of ulna, a triangular facet like or triangular area is present, which is subcutaneous. When you want to feel like this, you can feel here a triangular area is subcutaneous in nature, and this is this area. A bursa, subcutaneous bursa, is also present on this. Beneath this triangular area, the posterior border of shaft starts. Now onto the lateral surface of olecranon process, the insertion of anconeus muscle takes place like this, which extends onto the upper 1/4 part of posterior surface also of the shaft. Anconeus is inserted onto the lateral surface. Then the medial surface of olecranon process. Onto the medial surface, this surface is continuous with the surface of shaft, and the origin of flexor digitorum profundus, we will study with the shaft, extends on this surface also. Onto the medial margin, this margin, that is the margin separating the surface from the notch. Here the ulnar collateral ligament, also called as medial ligament of elbow joint, its posterior band is attached here, and also the oblique band. Now the medial ligament of elbow joint is having three bands. It is running like this, the anterior band and the posterior band, and oblique band is present which connects the two band. So here the attachment of posterior and oblique band, and onto the medial margin of the coronoid process, here is the attachment of anterior band of medial collateral ligament, medial ligament of elbow joint, also called as ulnar collateral ligament. Another ligament is also present which is called as lateral collateral ligament or radial collateral ligament. It is attached onto the lateral margin here. Then comes the coronoid process. The superior surface of coronoid process takes part in formation of trochlear notch. The anterior-inferior surface was having ulnar tuberosity. Onto the ulnar tuberosity, the insertion of brachialis muscle takes place. Then the lateral side of this process is having a radial notch, and beneath the radial notch, a depression is present which provides room for radial tuberosity. On the margins of radial notch, the annular ligament is attached, and behind this depression for the radial tuberosity, the supinator crest is present which gives origin to supinator muscle like this. Then we comes to the medial surface. Here the medial surface is again continuous with the medial surface of shaft, and it is giving origin to flexor digitorum profundus muscle. Onto the medial margin, a tubercle is present, a tubercle-like structure is present, which gives origin to a slip of flexor digitorum superficialis in the deep head of pronator teres muscle. Here, the pronator teres muscle's deep head and flexor digitorum superficialis muscle takes origin. After that, one more structure is attached near to the ulnar tuberosity. Here, near its lateral aspect, a small elevation ridge-like structure is present, which gives attachment to the oblique cord. If you remember, onto the radius, the oblique cord was attached just below the radial tuberosity here, and below that, around 25 mm below that, the attachment of interosseous membrane was starting. Now this interosseous membrane is again here attached to its interosseous border like this. So in between the two borders, interosseous membrane is attached, and the oblique cord, which is present obliquely, is also attached just below the radial tuberosity here and towards the lateral margin of ulnar tuberosity onto the ulna. After that, we come to the surfaces and borders. Now, as I have told in the previous video, 3 borders and 3 surfaces are present. First of all, the posterior border. This one. The posterior border starts from the apex of the triangular area present subcutaneously on the posterior aspect, and then it runs downwards. Onto the posterior border, aponeurosis is attached, and that aponeurosis gives origin to fibers of flexor carpi ulnaris, extensor carpi ulnaris, and flexor digitorum profundus. It is a common aponeurosis for all the 3 muscles, and their origin takes place from this place. So we can draw it in pink line because an aponeurosis giving origin to muscles is present. Then rotating it towards the anterior side, this surface is the medial surface. The surface present between the posterior border and the anterior border is the medial surface. Now, flexor digitorum profundus is taking origin from here. It is also taking origin from the upper 3/4 of the medial surface. So, wide origin of flexor digitorum profundus from the posterior border, from the upper 3/4 part of medial surface of the shaft. Then also, next comes the anterior border, which is arising just beneath the ulnar tuberosity. Also, it takes origin from the anterior border's upper 3/4 part, the flexor digitorum profundus muscle only. Then comes the anterior surface. Anterior surface is present between the anterior border and interosseous border. From the upper 3/4 of anterior surface, also the origin of flexor digitorum profundus takes place. So, flexor digitorum profundus is originating from here to from the aponeurosis on the posterior surface, from the medial surface, from the anterior border, and from the anterior surface also. Onto the anterior surface also, the nutrient foramen is present, whose direction is downwards. After that, onto the lower surface, onto the lower 1/4 of the anterior surface, a ridge is present which is giving origin to pronator quadratus muscle. The pronator quadratus muscle takes origin from the ulna and it is inserted into the radius. The fibers are running like this, obliquely, and they get inserted onto the radius. So this was about the 2 surfaces here. Then comes the interosseous border or the lateral border. We have already discussed interosseous membrane is attached to it. Then is the posterior surface. Now the posterior surface, it is present between the lateral border, that is the interosseous border, and the posterior border. So this surface is the posterior surface. Now as I have told earlier, onto the lateral aspect of olecranon process, enconius is inserted, and its insertion extends up to the 1/4 part of posterior surface of shaft. So here the enconius muscle is inserted up to this point. After that, on the surface, three muscles are taking origin. First one is abductor pollicis longus, then is extensor pollicis longus, and then last one is extensor indicis. If you want to learn these names and remember the posterior surface of radius, on the posterior surface of radius also the abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis was taking origin. Here also abductor pollicis longus is taking origin, but in place of extensor pollicis brevis, extensor pollicis longus is taking origin, and lowermost the extensor indicis. So these three muscles are taking origin from the posterior surface. You can learn in this way that if abductor pollicis longus is taking origin from both the two bones, then on the posterior aspect it is running like this. Then comes the extensor pollicis brevis. These all three are muscles of thumb. So extensor pollicis brevis tendon goes, and the last one is extensor pollicis longus. And extensor indicis, it comes like this. So these are the three muscles which are taking origin from the posterior surface. Now onto the lower end, the head and styloid process. Head, as I told, is participating in the formation of inferior radioulnar joint. Onto the groove which is present between the styloid process and ulna, the tip of articular disc is attaching. So articular disc, after the union of these bones, the articular disc is attached like this onto the inferior margin of the radial notch of radius. Its apex is attached, its base is attached, and its apex is attached here. So articular disc is coming like this. In this way, the head of ulna is separated from the wrist joint. So ulna does not participate in the formation of wrist joint. Articular disc is attached onto this groove. On the tip of a styloid process, the lateral ligament of wrist joint, the ulnar collateral ligament of wrist joint is attached, and onto the groove which is present posteriorly between these two structures, the tendon of extensor carpi ulnaris is passing. This is very important. On the groove, this groove, the tendon of extensor carpi ulnaris is passing. So these were the main attachments which are present on ulna bone. Repeating the important ones, the insertion of triceps here, the insertion of enconius here. Continuing on to the posterior surface, first abductor pollicis longus, then extensor pollicis longus, and then extensor indicis, all three origins. Then interosseous membrane on the interosseous border and oblique cord onto its upper aspect. Then the ulnar tuberosity, insertion of brachialis, very important. Also marked in by spotting, and also it is asked in viva. So insertion of brachialis. Then on the anterior surface, upper 3/4 pronator quadratus origin, and lower 1/4 the origin of pronator, upper 3/4 the origin of flexor digitorum profundus, and lower 1/4 the origin of pronator quadratus. Onto the medial surface, again the origin of flexor digitorum profundus. Onto these margins, the ligaments, the ulnar collateral ligament, ahead of pronator teres, ahead of flexor digitorum superficialis are taking origin. Onto the radial notch, annular ligament is attached. Annular ligament is attached like this, which forms a socket in which the head of radius rotates, and it forms the superior radioulnar joint. So these are the main attachments, these are the main structures which are attached on the ulna. This was all about the attachments. In the previous video, I told about the side determination and the main features of ulna. So These are the important attachments present. I hope you all are liking the videos. Please do watch and comment in the comment section box below, and also subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching. Thank you.